Thank you, Madam Chairman. Following the 2010 flash crash, the SEC promulgated Rule 613 to establish the Consolidated Audit Trail. The CAT system is intended to collect U.S. securities market data, allowing regulators, self-regulatory organizations, and various contractors to track a securities transaction throughout its life cycle. By compelling industry members to collect and report data, it accumulates a staggering 500 billion records every day, all of which will be accessible to thousands of employees at the SEC and SROs with little to no accountability for how it's used. To make matters worse, each record is linked or linkable to the identity of an individual investor. The CAT program is not funded through regular appropriations and is administered by industry members who are not directly accountable to Congress. The CAT's implications for U.S. national security are also concerning. Congress has little insight into how this data is protected from hostile foreign actors or cyber threats. As a database of unparalleled scope and scale covering the deepest and most robust capital markets in the world, the CAT is a prime target for foreign intelligence and cyber criminals. In 2017, then SEC Chairman Jay Clayton warned, and I quote, "We will face the risk of unauthorized access to the CAT's central repository and other efforts to obtain sensitive CAT data. Through such access, intruders could potentially obtain, expose, and profit from the trading activity and personally identifiable information of investors." Congress should take steps to reduce the potential threat posed by the CAT's data collection by preventing its collection of highly sensitive, personally identifiable information. The SEC might argue that CAT's usefulness outweighs the tremendous national security risk posed by such an exhaustive database. Unquestionably, a record of every American's market activity would be useful to regulators, such as having a record of every American's book purchase, grocery receipts, political donations, or tithe would be. To quote Justice Lewis F. Powell's concurring opinion in California Bankers Association versus Schultz in 1974, he said, "Financial transactions can reveal much about a person's activities, associations, and beliefs." In the case of the Consolidated Audit Trail, a person's investment activity can paint a clear picture of their values. We vote for what we believe in with every transaction. In his opinion, Powell goes on to conclude that at some point, governmental intrusion into our financial lives implicates legitimate expectations of privacy. Through my legislation, Congress can and should strike a clear line and protect the privacy of millions of American investors that rely on our capital markets. Finally, I want to be clear. Retail investors do not have access to Consolidated Audit Trail data. It is not a tool of public transparency. Instead, it is a surveillance tool that requires retail investors to report their most sensitive personal financial data to the SEC, FINRA, and an army of unaccountable staff and bureaucrats, as well as the cyber criminals and malign foreign actors who will target the database. In return for surrendering all of their data, retail investors will get little more transparency than they already have. While it's worthwhile to discuss ways to improve transparency in the markets, my bill is intended to protect individual investors from the needless collection of their personally identifiable information and preserve the security of our capital markets. My bill would not eliminate the CAT. The SEC would still be able to track and analyze market activity, but neither regulators nor unauthorized users will be able to force a firm to divulge an American investor's personally identifiable information without cause. I urge my colleagues to stand for investors' data privacy, national security, and vote yes on H.R. 4551. Thank you, Madam Chair, and I yield back.